I remember when President Obama decided that he would pause before bombing Syria to give diplomacy a chance. It was mainly out of a gaffe where Senator Kerry said, well, I guess if Bashar Assad got rid of all of his chemical weapons, and he did it really quickly, that would be one way that we would prevent actual hostilities, right? And then the Russians and Bashar Assad jumped in it, and they were like, yes, okay, well, that's what we'll do. We'll get rid of the chemical weapons. Now, I thought that Syria was a very tough issue, and I said before we were about to go in that we should not go in. We didn't have enough evidence, and I thought the plan was not a good one. It didn't have an obvious conclusion. But when President Obama put the brakes on and said, I need to get congressional authorization, I totally agreed with that, because that was one of my main concerns. You shouldn't act as the president unless Congress has authorized using force, right? So good. Of course, what did the Republicans say? Oh, wish-washy. Where's you a flip-flopper? First he was going to invade, then he didn't invade. Yeah, but that's good that he didn't invade. He should ask Congress. There's a lot of Republicans in Congress. He should ask you, right? And then later, when they accepted this idea that Bashar Assad would actually get rid of his chemical weapons, the Republicans were livid. Oh, yeah, they trust a dictator like Assad. How naive, how stupid of you. He's never going to do that. He played you for a fool. Leading from behind. And the Russians organized this. Way to listen to Putin. Nice job, Obama. Dumbass. Now, we find out that there was a November 1st deadline, that one we knew, to get rid of the chemical weapon producing facilities. You know what happened today? The United Nations has declared that Syria has gotten rid of their chemical weapon producing facilities. In fact, let me quote for you here. Now, they say the OPCW, that's the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, is satisfied it has verified and seen destroyed all declared critical production, mixing, filling equipment from all 23 sites. Not only did they get rid of all the chemical weapon production sites, they did it by the deadline. Now, what's interesting is I don't see a lot of Republicans or people who disagreed with President Obama on television today saying, boy, did we get that one wrong. Man, it turns out he got rid of all his chemical weapons. The diplomacy worked. My bad. We don't see it. And I don't see a lot of them coming out there saying, well, it turns out the president wasn't a dumbass. I was. It turns out I was wrong, right? Curious. You don't see any of that. Do you see a lot of the mainstream press talking about this? You might see it like in a 1-minute report here or there, but are there big, coverage of like mission accomplished? Syria gets rid of its chemical weapons. This is an important distinction. All the chemical weapon producing plants are gone, right? By mid-2014, all the stockpile of chemical weapons are also going to be gone. And as you can tell, they're already on schedule. And when they do that, that's great. That means President Obama's strategy worked, diplomacy worked, and yes, it started initially with a gaffe, but who cares? They got to the right place. It's because they believed in talking to people instead of immediately bombing them. So I don't care if nobody else does it. First of all, I was in favor of this diplomatic route. So, you can call me biased if you like. I was in favor of doing the right thing, right? But second of all, no matter what I was in favor of or not, give President Obama credit on this. It totally worked.